Happy Monday. So glad to see you again. I hope you're having a great day today. And this is the day, once again, that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in. I know sometimes that's hard on Mondays, but we can choose to rejoice, and we can choose to be glad in it. Over in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 5 and 6, Paul is talking. And he's talking about his life in one of his missionary journeys. And he says, when we arrived in Macedonia, there was no rest for us. We faced conflict from every direction, with battles on the outside and fear on the inside. Sounds a lot like today. But God, hear me now, but God, who encourages those who are discouraged, encouraged us by the arrival of Titus. Friends, our God is an encouraging God. And He sends just what we need, just at the right time, just when we need it, all that we need. He sends that individual. He sends whatever it is to encourage us just when we need it the most. I want to tell you a story about Gilbert. In fact, his name is Gilberto. Gilberto was a Latino in my church, my very first church as pastor. Gilbert and I became very close friends. Gilbert loved the Lord with all of his heart, and he just loved serving the Lord. He loved his family greatly. And the third thing that he loved was he loved to fish. He loved going fishing. Every moment, every time that he had a moment where he could just sneak away and go fishing, he would go fishing. It provided food for his family, but he just loved to fish. And I went fishing with Gilbert a number of times and had a great time. On this one Sunday afternoon, after church, Gilbert went down to the bay and to the Gulf and began to fish. And while he was there, the Lord began to talk to him. Began to talk to him about an individual that he had never met. And as he was fishing, this man walked by. And we'll call him Peter. And as Peter walked by, the Lord said, "That's the man that I want you to encourage." And Gilbert said, "But Lord, I don't know him. And he's going to think something strange going on." And he said, "Gilbert, I want you to talk to him." Gilbert put down his fishing poles, because he just didn't have one pole, he had several. Put those down, and he started walking towards the man. And he said, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I just want you to know that God loves you. And He wanted me to tell you that it's going to be okay. If you'll just trust Him, if you'll just believe in Him, everything's going to be all right." Peter really didn't know what to say. He just sort of stood there, and he had this look on his face of discouragement and unbelief, and he said, "Well, thank you." And Gilbert said, I want to invite you to our church." And he gave the name of the church, and he gave the address, and he said, "I hope to see you next Sunday." Next Sunday rolled around, and Peter didn't show up. And Gilbert said, "Well, Lord, I did what you asked me to do, and I guess that's it." And so a week goes by, and on that next Sunday, Peter showed up. He walked into the church, sat down. During the service, he began to weep and cry, and he began to, at the altar call, he made his way down to the altar, and he gave his heart and his life to the Lord. He got up and began to tell me what had happened. 2 weeks ago, when Gilbert stopped him, he was on his way to commit suicide. He was going to go down to part of the bay, the Gulf there, that was far away from anything and everybody. And he was just going to walk out into the bay and end his life. But then Gilbert walked up to him Let him know that God loved him, that God cared about him, and that everything was going to be okay. You see, we serve a God who brings people into our lives just at the right moment to encourage us. We have a God who is an encouraging God, and he calls upon us to be an encouragement to others. And I wonder on this Monday, as you go about your life, maybe it's a Peter, or maybe it's a Mary. I don't know who it is out there, but God is calling on you to be an encouragement to someone today. Oh, church, I just want you to know, be an encouragement. Reach out. Somebody needs to hear today that they're loved and that they're prayed for.